Good morning and welcome to Field Testing with Joe. Today we are going to be breaking another beam. Today's beam is at 28 days and we will hope that the break will be at 550 PSI on the flexural strength on the beam breaker. We already did a video on it, but wanted to do another one. Hopefully this one will break really well and make a big snapping sound. And those of you who might be new to the channel, this is the flexural strength beam breaker. And we put our beam in here, but you'll see that when we prep the sample. We're going to walk outside and show you where our flexural strength beams for a PCCP are kept until they are ready to be broken. Here is our sand pile. We call it the graveyard. As you can see, we have a bunch of lath with a bunch of numbers on it, the date and beam set number. And these beams are buried in a pile of sand that's kept moist throughout the curing process. And this one right here, beam number 56, made on 4/27. That will be one of the beams that we are breaking today. All right, well, until we're ready, I will see you guys in a few minutes so I can get the beam taken out of the sand pile. So those of you who have not seen my previous video, I will show you how we prep our beam. Okay. Here is our beam. It measures 6 inches high by 6 inches wide by 21 inches long. We mark the center point, which would be at 10.5 inches, and then we go 3 inches out, right and left, and then at the ends, we measure out 1.5 inches, which gives us a span of 18 inches. So now that we have our beam marked out, we're gonna go and place it in the beam breaker. And that is our beam breaker. I've already winded it up. This is the disc that we use to test the flexural strength of the beam. We use track B. The maximum PSI on it is 1,000 PSI. We're shooting between 550 and 650 or greater. That means it would be a really good beam. So this disc gets placed here. We lock it down, and then it'll spin. I've already wound it up, and as you can see, the disc is moving, and this is the pen. So let's get the beam in. Okay, beam slides in between these two rollers. And make sure that it's even as possible. And we'll put these leather shims in between where it makes its contact points. I'll shift you over a little bit. And that looks good. Okay, now that we have the beam all loaded in, we're going to lock this valve down below here, and that closes the valve which originally lowered this section right here. Okay, so as I'm turning this wheel right here, this is going to slowly rise. And while that is rising, I will be tracing this B line on this to get our brake on it. So let's zoom in a little bit so you can see the disc, and it is moving. Now I'm going to zoom out, raise this back up, and we will start this. So I'm going to turn this wheel, raising that center up until the needle with the marking pen starts to move. Once that starts to move, I will remove the cap from the marking pen. Okay, we got movement. So now I'm going to turn the steering wheel and follow the dotted line. So again, if you are new to this channel and you have not seen one of these videos, this lets us know if the concrete has gained enough strength to allow traffic to drive on it. This is Portland cement concrete paving. It's the concrete version of asphalt paving or blacktop, but this is made from concrete. And again, this one's at 28 days, and ideally we're looking for 550 PSI for our traffic to go on it, but the mix design is made to be 650 PSI at 28 days. So I am hoping that this one will break really good, and you'll see and hear the sound that it makes. It is possible to get a faulty brake, so when you're transporting these back to where you're going to break them or store them, try not to bounce them around, because they are still curing, because they only stay out in the field for 24 hours before we bury it in the sand. Like burying your head in the sand, I guess. And then it also keeping that sand pile moist and wet as much as possible. So we do water that sand pile every day or every other day, or as much needed. Now that we're in the summer months, we probably have to, oh no, I just got. Make sure you wind the key all the way. As you can tell, I didn't, and it stopped, but that's okay. This is a bad break, then I'll pull another one out of the pile because of that technical error or operator error. I thought I wound it up enough. I probably did. It's just that I took too long to get the beam on there. So right now we're at 500 PSI. So we're getting there. And this steering wheel is getting really tight. It's gonna break soon. So right now we're at 550 PSI, cruising to 600. And this is getting really tight. It wants to snap back, but I gotta hold on to this steering wheel. Okay, we passed 600. 650 PSI. 700 PSI. This one's gonna break good. 750 PSI. Jesus Christ. 800 PSI. 800 PSI. So the beam broke really well, 800 PSI. Took a lot of force holding that steering wheel and steering it. Put the cap back on this so the ink doesn't dry out, and we'll remove the paper disc. And look where it broke. Can't really see it, but it's about 810, 815 PSI. So, all right, well, and what we're going to be looking for is where it broke. It broke pretty close. The middle. So that is the beam that we just broke. These are my initial marks. This is center of the beam, 3 inches out, right and left. What we're looking for is that we got broken aggregate. That means that the cement is doing what it's supposed to, holding everything together. So there you have it. Beam broke at 815 PSI, and that's breaking a PCCP beam. So we broke a PCCP beam. It broke at 815 PSI. Sorry, my phone was ringing and it paused while it was ringing. So anyway, thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.